Our next guest is a music industry veteran. She's produced music for artists like Jay-Z, Pharrell, Big Rich, Larry Gatlin of the Gatlin Brothers, Damian Jr. Gang Marley, Stephen Marley. I'm going to tell you she's worked with Spragga Ben, Super Cat, him, Sly and Robbie. I mean, she's done it all. Cristy Barber is here now joining us. And it's good to have you here with us, Cristy. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I was on Smile Jamaica, I think back in 2005 or 2006. It was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah. So how are things in Nashville, Tennessee this morning?
Things are good. It's 70 degrees Fahrenheit, not too bad, not too hot, not too cold, but it's great.
Okay. Okay. So Cristy, from you were 10, you knew you wanted to work at Columbia. You knew you wanted to work in music, generally?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
So how did you come to, I mean, you started out as a journalist, right? Because you were told that's the easiest way to break into the industry. And an article that you wrote about Supercat is what kind of opened your eyes to reggae music. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, he was the first interview I did, and I got a cover story right out the gate.
What?
And the night that I met him and I interviewed him, it completely changed my life. Because when I first got in the music industry, I was doing hip hop. I was writing for a magazine based out of Cleveland that was funded by Def Jam. And then I started with Word Up magazine, which, you know, Biggie made very iconic in one of his big songs. But yeah, my first interview was with Supercat.
Okay, so what did that do for you in terms of your trajectory into reggae music? Because now you've worked with VP, you've worked with Island. You're described as a true reggae renaissance woman. So I want to know how that catapulted you into the field of reggae.
Well, I mean, like I said, when I met with him, it really changed my life. Just hearing him speak about the history of it and how much it meant to him. He discussed like the dancehall culture and how he came up within the sound systems as a DJ in the Jamaican industry. And I was I was young. I was like 21 years old. I just couldn't believe I was talking to somebody that was just speaking about these things that were kind of a bit foreign to me, but just sounded super exciting. And from that day forward, I made it my life's goal to get the article done and published. And I was so blessed to get a cover story. And I just knew that I wanted to be a part of reggae music, and I knew I wanted to work with him. And it was just a bonus that he was at Columbia Records, which was the label that I dreamed of working with, because I was obsessed with George Michael, and George Michael and Wham were signed to Columbia Records, and that was the reason why I wanted to do that. And funny enough, I produced my first record there, which was with Spragga Benz, who was actually the first reggae artist I worked for, even though my first boss in the industry was KRS-One, the rapper.
Okay, and then from Supercat, Spragga, you said you worked with, then you started to work with Island Jamaica?
Yeah, I was at Capitol with Spragga. I was at Columbia with Supercat. I was at Island Jamaica, and that's where I actually met the Marley Family. And, you know, I was with the Marley Family for over 20 years. That's like my reggae family right there, running Tough Gone Ghetto Youth at Def Jam Universal with Damian and Steven and the Bob catalog and the whole family. So, and then, you know, I've been at VP a couple of times. I was at Electra with Sly and Robbie. So, yeah, I've been around the gamut a bit.
Yeah, I mean, what would have been the highlight for you having worked in the industry? I mean, you dreamt of it and then you finally realized it. Were the realized experiences anything comparable to your expectations? Was it better? Was it, you know, tell us generally.
Oh, it was everything. I mean, it was just, the great thing about it is that being in the music industry, you're able to meet the people that you have loved ever since you were a child. And the great thing is to just work with great musicians. And I mean, besides working Dancehall Queen and Def Jamaica and Reggae's Gone Country, like three of my favorite projects, it's a life's honor and a great responsibility to be responsible to a catalog like Bob Marley, and working with the estate and the family and them entrusting you is unsurmountable, because, you know, we can talk about reggae, but there's probably no bigger catalog in the history of music than Bob Marley. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for a bigger honor than that. And I will always be grateful and blessed that the family is my family.
So where does one go after that? I mean, that's the pinnacle. So where you go after that, Cristy?
Well, my life's my work's goal, and I've been working on it since 2004, is my Grammy advocacy campaigns. And I'm still doing them right now. The voting just opened up a couple days ago. So that's really what's the bulk of my interviews, the bulk of my time, just educating people how the Recording Academy works, making sure that we continue to have the reggae category, making sure that I continue to educate the artist and, the talent in our genre on how it works, and just making sure these right artists and this great music is heard. It's being awarded on, music's biggest stage. I know it's very controversial. People have their opinions, but there's no bigger award than the Grammy. And reggae, there's a million reggae artists out there that deserve it. And that's my life's goal, to make sure that it happens.
And what's the change you're advocating for? Outside of just spreading the awareness and the knowledge amongst the artists, is there anything you're doing to try and change how the artists are chosen, how it's voted on? Because boy, if you want to start a healthy discussion, just raise that reggae Grammy category and yeah.
I'm just trying to explain to people that there's not this, there's all these conspiracy theories around it, and there really isn't. And the bottom line is, it's like what Puffy said: you got to vote or die. You have to be a part of the process in order to win the process. But it's very hard, and they're making it much more difficult. They're really cutting down the voting. They literally just changed it a couple of days before the ballots came out, that now they're just allowing us to vote in 3 fields. So it's really getting these people to vote in their actual categories, which can be a great thing for us. But, it's constantly changing. I'm just out there doing interviews on my social media, any way I can get them educated on how the process works. And my give back is, a lot of them don't understand how the submission process works. So if somebody reaches out to me and their album is eligible, but they just don't know how to submit it, I do that for them for free. I did it this year for a Maxi Priest record that is actually in the contemporary blues album category.
Fantastic.
So good luck to Maxi.
Fantastic.
He's in a different category this year.
Fantastic. So Cristy, you're working on any new projects in development for this year?
I am actually working on a project out of here that I worked his last album. There's a record label that's very big here in Nashville. The gentleman who owns it is considered one of the top 5 men in the music industry. And it's the artist Modest Yahoo. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but yeah, I worked his last album. I'm going to be working his new album too as well. So yeah, just kind of picking and choosing what I'm doing, really focusing on the Grammy campaigns. And so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to in the future.
Fantastic. Sounds like a dream job. Very storied career, but we know hard work is in there. It looks glamorous and everything, but we know it takes a lot of work, especially as a woman in the industry, which is something else we could talk about in a whole other interview.
And a woman that's not from that country.
And a woman that's not a Jamaican as well, and who is not black. Let's get it, let's be real about it, Cristy. But you've done an amazing job.
Well, I feel I'm honorary. So when I say us, I mean Jamaica. I mean, I vote for all the Jamaican teams over the U.S. teams. I'm very patriotic.
Yes.
I actually know your anthem more than I know ours.
We're not mad at that.
For 30 years, I mean, it kind of becomes your second home.
Absolutely. And we thank you for what you've done to develop Jamaican music and to spread the awareness far and wide. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Honorary Jamaican Cristy Barber with us on Smile Jamaica. Thank you, Cristy.
Thank you.
All right, Grammy-nominated music producer Cristy Barber. We have more on Smile after this break.